welcome to Gail's Garden Herbs and More. Okay, it is in late fall, almost winter. This coming week is winter. Time to dig up roots, and I also like to dig them up especially in February. But the ground is really soft right now, so I actually dug up some of my curly dock roots, and you can see, and then I had one big plant over here. There's actually several plants growing together. I dug up part of that, got a pretty good root off that. Some of them where the leaves weren't quite as big, I dug up, and the roots just, as you can see right here, I should have let that grow more because the roots just really weren't that big yet. But most of them I dug up, there was a big bunch of leaves, and I got, as you can see, some pretty good roots here. So I'm going to take those over, put my sprayer on my hose, and wash those off real good. They should clean up pretty good because it's just mud. It's not caked and hardened on there. I'm also going to save some of these leaves. I might even juice some. Don't want to do too much of this herb at one time. It helps to keep my bowels moving good without cramping. I tend to be more on the constipated side, which is not good for me at all with my problems. So this is a wonderful, wonderful herb for me, maybe for you too. I also use the leaves in salads sometimes in the summer because in the summer most of the nutrients are in the leaves. So, but for now, I'm going to clean up these roots and I'm going to use those. I'm going to take you right now in just a sec to my kitchen and show you some things that I make with the roots. Okay, here we are in my kitchen. I made a bunch of root and berry tea. What I do is I put a lot of my roots and hard berries together, and I'll get them up to the boiling point and turn it off and let it sit all night, and or maybe simmer for a long time. I let it sit all night this last time. I've been drinking on this. I also got some of my dried orange slices and put in here to get some extra vitamin C, and it also adds a good flavor to my tea. So this is a half-gallon jar. I had it filled up. I've been drinking on it last couple days. I just pour some out of my jar into a little pan and warm it up slightly. I don't want to get it too hot and boil all the goodness away. Although your roots and seeds and stuff are a little more stable than the leaves are, but still. Anyway, that's what I do. What I'm going to do with those roots out there, I'm going to clean them up. I'm going to slice them in little rounds and dry them. And then I'll have them to stick in my pan and boil up with my other roots and get a lot of good nutrition from them. Sometimes if I just want them by themselves to help me with a little constipation problem or something, then I will just boil up some of them. It's all up to you. But I also wanted to tell you a little about some of the uses of this plant. This is my Medica Media. I was going through some of this. I drew a picture, but that's in early spring what the leaves look like. It's really good if you're making your own Medica Media that you draw yourself because you really get a good look at the plant. Okay, here's a couple pages out of my Medica Media. And this one I didn't even completely fill out. I've been haven't been working on it as much as I should because I've had so many other things going. This is the second page. Some of my pages have this on the back, but this one didn't. So I just had it on two separate pages. I got this from a class that I was taking. We got some extra pages as they helped us set up the Medica Media. If you'd like a video on how to make your own Medica Media or a little bit about it, just let me know in the comment section. I'd be glad to go over mine, show you what I have and how you can do it. It's not hard. And it really helps to familiarize yourself with each herb. You've got this to hand down to your family. I'm hoping to hand mine down when I'm gone. My daughter, my granddaughters, or somebody will take it and use it. I could say, well, they have my YouTube channel for posterity. Well, that would be nice, although I don't even think my family or anybody looks at the YouTube. They're all busy. They don't even watch YouTube, I don't think. But we may not always have the internet. Who knows with this world? But this is something hardcore that you can hand down to them. But anyway, let me get back to my yellow dock, which is also called curly dock. Okay. It is... good for, oh my goodness, it's good for really a lot of things, but mainly it's a superstar to help me with the constipation problem that I have. And that's why I put that down here. It is also, it increases the bile flow, so it's good for your gallbladder and your liver. It's a blood purifier. It helps to clear your skin. It helps the swelling of nasal passages. That's what I've heard anyway. I, knock on wood, don't have problems with, I don't have nasal problems, so I've never used it for that. That's just something I've researched and read, and it's supposed to be good for your respiratory tract. Something that you can do with the Curly Dock too. I use it in teas. I put it in with my roots and berries. Not a tea really. It's a decoction. But you can juice it. You can make a decoction. You can make a syrup out of it and take it with a meal once or twice a day. There's so much that you can do with this herb. It's wonderful, and it just grows wild. I mean, it just grows out there. If you live in the concrete jungle in the city, then take a hike out in the country and you'll probably find it. If you're aware that what field you may be picking it from, you have permission and that it's not been sprayed with herbicides or something. Otherwise, that would be defeating your cause of health. So, but if it's just wild and not been sprayed and you can pick your own. Dig up a few roots. Where I first learned about, well, I knew a little bit about Curly Dock, but I really didn't know that much. Excuse me. Anyway, up in Paradise, before it burned, there was a nice herb shop there, Fiona's Forest, and I went out with them on a little herb walk, and one of the things that we dug up was the yellow dock. And from there, I had a big bag of it, so I started using it, and I found I just loved it, and it really worked for my constipation problem without giving me cramps. It's very gentle. And if you can find a local herbalist, and these weren't real local for me, but kind of, it was the closest I could find. Now, their place burned down in the Paradise Fire, so I'm not sure where they're located or what they're doing now. I would love to go back out on some herb walks with some of the people again, because that was just really awesome. But, yeah, if you can get out with a local herbalist and go on an herb walk, it really helps the hands-on learning of the individual herbs. So, I wouldn't recommend eating too much of this. Eat about as much as you would of maybe of a food, because they say, you might get diarrhea, you might get a skin irritation or something. I never have, and I use it quite a bit, but I mean, I don't go overboard on it. I try not to go overboard on anything. So, yeah, here's a little bit about Yellow Dock. I hope that you all have got some information from this. It should be growing around in your yard somewhere. Mine did. There's an old saying that the herbs that you need will be growing, or if they're not growing when you first move there, they soon will be. When we first moved into this place, I didn't have any stinging nettle. I probably had Curly Dock, but I didn't know what it was. There was no stinging nettle. Now there's stinging nettle, comes up every spring. That is another herb I'd like to talk to you about sometime that's wonderful. And now I've learned about this, and I know at first I didn't have as much, and now I've got it all growing all over the place. Maybe it just somehow noticed that I was using it and started prolificating, if there's such a word. But anyway, I don't know. It's kind of a cute, neat saying. But I think maybe when you need something, you start recognizing it more. But there wasn't any stinging nettle. I had to go outside and get it. And I don't know how any seeds got spread, because I didn't plant any other than in a pot. And it didn't seem to live too long, but soon I had the stuff coming up all over as well. But I harvested a lot because I love my stinging nettle as well. Anyway, I'm going to shut up and let you folks go, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye for now.